Yep, that's my 2012 Harley Davidson Ultra Classic. How did we get here? It's a hero's journey. A hero's journey is any worthwhile endeavor that you can undertake that challenge you to look within, to reach within and find that extra oomph or that soul, that spirit that helps to encourage you to grow, and it uplifts you until the next higher level of being in your existence as a human and during your human existence. So what got us here? Well, it's spring. I was going for a ride. I put the bike up on the stand. I gave the bike a good wash, and I was going to take a ride. When I got to the wheels and I went to wash the wheels did not spin freely. They had resistance to them, which means that the bearings are bad. And so I ripped that bearing open just so you can see what the bearings on a wheel look like. All right, so once I did that, the bike has 90,000 miles. I'm not quite at the 100,000 mile service interval, but at 90,000 miles, that's pretty close. So I went through the bike to see what else was wrong. And I did know this is your shift linkage. This is your forward shift lever. This is your inner shift lever. That's where that inner shift lever is located. To get to that inner shift lever, I had to take the primary completely off. Your primary hold your clutches and the gears that turns, the belt that drives the wheel. Also, it holds the chain that goes from your compensator. This is what gives you connection from this chain from the compensator, the engine, to your transmission. All right, so that's the connection. Grab a rag, wipe my hand. So what I found was there was play inside of this inner shift lever. So that means I had to dig deep within this motor just to change this. And this is important. The reason this is so important is while I was riding, I did notice the last few times that I did ride that when I went to change gears, that I missed the gear. The bike actually did not shift. It stayed in the same gear. So when I started looking around the bike to see what all I could find, I wasn't surprised to see that that was loose. So what is the purpose of this inner shift lever? This inner shift lever acts as your motivator. That's what takes the power from your engine and gives your transmission its direction on what you want it to do, on how you grab a gear and make it go. When you need to speed up, you pull back and you grab another gear. But sometimes things happen and you just have to slow down. And that's, you use that motivator to downshift into lower gears. It is that driving force between your engine and your transmission. It is the spirit that goes between your mind and your body. And it is what gives that motivation to make you run either at a high level, or you have to know when to slow down, downshift, and run at a lower pace. But one thing is important. You have to do the inner work. You have to do the inner work. You won't get to where you're going without doing the inner work, you're just not going to get there. And so what it's going to do is going to take you digging in, finding that piece that's not working for you, and finding one that will. Because sometimes we just got to replace that effort. Just replace that effort. Look at that, without the boat. See how much difference that made, even without the boat in. And that's what we have to do sometimes. We have to go within in order to get to that next level, to get to what we're looking for. My hero's journey. Coast to coast in 55 hours. From Jacksonville Beach, Florida to Santa Monica Pier, California. This is a certified that in May of 2018, John B. Gray rode his 2012 Harley-Davidson Ultra Classic from the Atlantic Ocean, Jacksonville Beach, Florida, continuing across Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, and California via the entirety of Interstate 10 to reach the Pacific Ocean at Santa Monica, California. 2,474 miles in 54 hours and 47 minutes. Mr. Gray's coast-to-coast ride was conducted under very strict guidelines set forth by the Iron Butt Association. It was a hero's journey. And so at the end of that journey, and now we're looking to retool, ready ourselves for our next journey. But it's very important that if you're going to do this, before you even get started on that journey, you make sure you got the right calibrated tools. You also make sure that you have proper instructions. What does that look like for you? It could look like meditation. It could look like prayer. It could look like grounding. It could look like crystals. It could look like sage. Those are your tools. Well, what about your clear instructions? That is your meditation, and your prayer is your clear instructions. I said those, well, they are tools also, but those are your clear instructions. Meditation and grounding. That's where you reach God. You would get your clear instructions there. All right. Now this part, you have to pay close attention to. So I got to free up both my hands and my mind. And I'll put this bike back together, and I'll see you guys out on the road. Thank you. Thank you for listening.